What's up, guys? Nick here with Overage Syndicate, and you'll see here on your screen this is my tax return from 2019. Why am I showing this? Well, there's a lot of things to learn from this. I'm not showing you this to brag. I'm showing you this to show you the reality of this business and what is possible. So let's go over this, and let's see what we can learn from this. Okay. So this is 2019. My company, Overage Refund Specialists. You can see here we had about $1.2 million come through the business account. Now, that $1.2 million is not mine. You'll look down below, cost of goods sold, $823,000. That is money going out to my clients. That is money that belongs to them. So that's how I prefer to work the business, is I like to get the check in my company name, and then it goes through my business account. Then I keep my portion, whatever my percentage is that we agreed upon in the contract, and then I send the client a cashier's check. That's how I like to do it. And then obviously how we, figure that as far as taxes go. This is one lesson. How do you do taxes in this business? Well, the money you're sending to your client, that's cost of goods sold. Okay. Here's something we can learn from that. Let me see if I can minimize this, move this around. So these two numbers can kind of let you know what is the average commission in this business. What can you expect to make? Okay. You'll see here my gross profit in the business was $378. Okay. That's what the business brought in gross. So if we take that number, 378, 897, and divide that by the total amount that I was able to recover. Okay, so in this case, $1.2 million is what my company recovered in overages last year for people. So 1,202,055. It gives us a number of 30.315, or 31.5% is my average commission on my deals. Okay. I've told you before, I've gone as high as 45%. I've gone as low as 5%. I'm flexible, but if we average it out, my average commission on a deal is 31.5% based on our numbers from 2019. Okay. So it's whatever you can negotiate again. And negotiation, that's a skill that you have to learn and you have to practice. But that's pretty average. I would guess, I would say 20 to 30. The numbers say 31.5 is my average commission per deal. So that's one thing we can learn from this. What else can we learn? Here's the thing though, 378, that's gross. That wasn't my take home, right? This isn't what I profited in the business last year. You can see here, compensation officer. So I took a salary of $75,000 because this is an S corp. That's how it's structured currently. But it didn't start out that way. You'll notice. So, and I've said this before, I started in this business in 2015. That's when I purchased my first training. That's when I started doing my first deals. When I started, here's a question I get a lot. People ask, do I need to have a corporation to get started? The answer is no. I didn't. I just started working it. So I started in 2015, but I didn't become incorporated. I didn't actually get an LLC until 2016. Now here's the thing, that in 2016, that LLC was it was a sole proprietorship. It wasn't an actual, it was just a name basically registered with the state. I didn't become an S corporation until 2018 because I hadn't really made a ton of money up until, 2018 was my first real calendar year in the business. So that's when I transferred over to an S corp. So that's another thing you can learn. And hopefully that answers the question is, do you need an entity to start? The answer is no. You just need to start. And then you can incorporate these things later on. You can then get an LLC. Then you can switch it over to an S corp or a C Corp or whatever it is, whatever, consult your CPA on that. I'm not a CPA, so I can't give tax advice, but I'm just showing you what I've done. So hopefully that answers that question. Do you need a corporation? No. My little boy is screaming. It's nap time. So anyway, so going back here, 75,000. That's what I paid myself for my salary, because in an S corp you need to do that. Had a lot of deductions. You can see down here, lane 19. Other deductions, 115,000. Our total deductions were 214. So these are business expenses. Legal, mailers, marketing costs, paying 1099 employees, contractors, stuff like that. Okay. So really my ordinary business income, this is, like my net basically is 164, 192. Now again, I did take 75. So if we just combine those, 164, 192 is our ordinary business income down here. And if we add my salary, 75,000, so just under 240. I've showed you in my other videos, in 2018, I did about 118 or something like that. So we doubled our revenue in 2019, and I expect to continue to grow in 2020. Again, I'm not telling you this to brag, I'm telling you what's possible. Now, here's a question. How many hours was I working? Less than 40. I would say around 30 or less. So I probably could have made more money if I had worked harder, but for me, this business is not just about making money. It's about giving me a lifestyle that I enjoy and where I can spend time with my family. So I'm not, I've tried the office and the employees. We did that last year, and that traditional business model is not for me. Hence the reason why I've started working with partnerships, so I don't have to deal with employees and things of that nature. So a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning in 2019. I expect there to be a lot of learning in 2020 as well. But again, I'm not showing you this to brag or show off. I'm showing you this to tell you what's possible. Here's another thing that you should really consider and learn from. If you look here, 2016, that's when I was incorporated. I told you I started in 2015. We're now in 2020. So we're coming up on 5 years that I've been at this. So you need to take that into consideration as well. It took me 4 years to get to this point, almost 5 years. Okay. When's the last time you did something for 5 years besides your job? Okay, this is the problem. This is why people do not see success. And I'm guilty of this. It's called shiny object syndrome. We are bombarded with so much opportunity and so much information today that what happens is we jump on an opportunity and we work it for a few months, and then we move to another one. And when you do that, when you continually jump on an opportunity, work it, and then jump on a new one, you're just restarting, and you're in a loop, and you're never going to make progress because you're starting over from day one every time you start a new opportunity. So here's the other lesson. I'm not an overnight success, and I'm not even that successful. It's taken me 5 years to get to where I am. And I'm not even this doesn't wow me, because don't get me wrong, I am very grateful. I am so grateful that I've gotten to this point, because it's so much better than where I was working at the prison, for less than 50 grand a year. But there are people out there that do so much better than this in corporate America, business owners. Like, I am not some hotshot business owner guy. I'm just a dude that works from home, and Overages happens to be my business. But here's the point I'm trying to make. It's taken me almost 5 years to get here. And so the question now becomes, the question is not, does this business work? It does work. It's worked for me. The question is not, well, how much can I make? I don't know how much you can make. How much time are you willing to put into it? Are you willing to dedicate 5 years of your life to it? Now, granted, it doesn't have to be full time. I've only been doing this full time since 2017. But I just want you to think about that. 5 years. 5 years of my life to get to where I am. And I'm not even, like, I'm not a millionaire, you know? I don't consider myself financially free. I'm financially in a better position than where I was as a corrections officer, no doubt. But it's not like I could just say, I'm done working. Like, I'm not in that position yet. What I'm trying to impress upon you is, if you want to see success in anything, you need to dedicate yourself to it. And it's going to take a long time. Most people, if they don't see a result within a couple months, they quit. And that's why most people don't succeed at whatever they set out to do, is they quit. They don't have the patience to work the process long enough to actually see a result. You know, it's like when you plant something, right? If you've ever been a gardener or whatever, you plant something in the spring and it comes in the fall. I mean, that's still a good 6 months. Most people aren't even willing to commit to something for 6 months. So here's the thing. I mean, it's taken me 5 years and a lot of money to get these results, but I believe it can take you less because of the information that's been put out there by not only myself but other people. Um, there is help available. I'm available. Other people are available. I feel like the resources are there for you. But what I'm trying to impress upon you is, it's going to take time to see success, and it requires you to be dedicated and disciplined. Um, Here's the thing: if you're not willing to work the business for at least a good 6 months to a year, you shouldn't do it. You just shouldn't. You should just stay doing what you're doing. Like, I'm just trying to be honest with you. Don't waste your time on buying courses, investing in coaches and mentoring. Don't do that if you're not willing to dedicate at least 6 to 12 months of your life to the process. And 6 to 12 months that's nothing compared to 5 years. Like, I believe there are people out there that could get these results in 12 months, maybe 2 years. It's possible. But the question is, will they do what's necessary to achieve those results? I believe the majority don't have what it takes. So you just have to ask yourself, are you part of the majority, or are you in that minority that have what it takes to be disciplined and to dedicate enough time to see the result? I try to be honest and real with you guys and tell you how it is. This business isn't easy. It hasn't been easy for me. It wasn't easy to leave my job to pursue a dream. Wasn't easy to sell our house and move into my in-laws' basement while I started this business. It wasn't easy to walk away from my military career and, give up the opportunity to go fly helicopters for the Army. Um, it wasn't easy to leave that career in law enforcement. It wasn't easy to not see a paycheck for several months after I quit my job. But I'm grateful that it wasn't easy. And I'm grateful for all the hard decisions and sacrifices that me and my wife have made together. Grateful for all that because I've learned so much, and now I know what it takes. Had I known prior what it would take to get to where we are, I don't know if I would have made the same decision. And so I'm telling you, I'm trying to let you know what it takes to see that success. Whatever success is for you, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take sacrifice and a lot of hard work and a lot of stress and a lot of worry, a lot of living in the unknown, a lot of pressure. Most people can't take it. But you need to know beforehand, before you venture on something, don't think it's going to be easy. And don't think it's going to happen in a couple months. It's not. So be aware of that, guys. Be aware of what it takes before you make a decision on whether you're going to invest in some course or invest in some coach. And this isn't just about overages, whatever it is that you're looking at. Be aware there's going to be a price to pay, both in money and time. 5 years and over $20,000 or $30,000, probably more, has been the price for me. What's the price you're willing to pay?